Welcome to Business Law 1 class. So you look at section 4 of Unit 1, Ghana Legal System and the Court Structure. Session Objectives. By the end of this session, you should be able to know the legal system practiced by Ghana courts and discuss the sources of law in Ghana. Ghana Legal System. You should understand that the Ghana inherited common law system from our colonial masters. The common law system from our colonial masters. The common law system gives primacy to judicial decisions. So, judicial decision, that's when a judge made laws. When there's an issue before a court, the judge gives judgments. And that judgment, if it's the judge or the court in which the judgment was given was a superior court, it becomes a precedent and all other courts below that court should follow. Now, our courts still rely on common law. In Ghana, we still go by that we apply the common law and equity at the same time. Remember the Judicature Act that introduced this particular provision, the application of common law and equity. We also apply statutory provisions, that's laws passed by Parliament like criminal law, company law, among others. Now let's look at the sources of law in Ghana. You should understand that Chapter 4 of the 1992 Constitution is dedicated for the sources of law in Ghana. Particularly, that chapter deals with Article 11, which talks about source of law in Ghana. And it has been arranged in a particular order, meaning the first one is the highest law, followed by the next one, followed by the subsequent one. Now the Constitution is the primary or the supreme law of the land. It means that all other laws derive their legality from the Constitution. Therefore, any law that is inconsistent with the Constitution will be declared void. To that extent of inconsistency will be declared void. You should also understand that apart from the Constitution, enactment made by or under the authority of the Parliament established by the Constitution. So if Parliament passes law, it becomes part of our laws. For instance, the recent act, which is the Lands Act at 1036, that's the Land Act 2020 at 1036, is also part of our laws. We also have orders, rules, and regulations made by any person or authority under a power conferred by the Constitution. So these ones also becomes part of our laws, and it should be laid before the Parliament 21 days before it becomes law. We also have the existing laws. Existing laws are the laws that came into existence before the Constitution. But with these laws, they are only part of our laws provided that they are consistent with the Constitution. It means that any existing law that is inconsistent with the Constitution is invalid. If you pick the Criminal Law Act and the Constitution, the Criminal Law Act was passed before the Constitution. So any provision in the Criminal Act that is inconsistent with the Constitution is invalid. That portion of that law is invalid. And that the whole Criminal Act at 29 is still valid. So if there's any portion that goes contrary to what has been stated in the Constitution, that portion becomes invalid. You also have the common law. The common law is made up of three types of laws. We have the common law, the rules generally known as the common law. So the rules generally known as the common law. Then the rules generally known as equity, doctrine of equity. And the last one, customary law. Customary law. These are the three types of common law. Customary law. So this is customary law. So these are the three types of common law in Ghana. So if you're talking about customary law is any law that is applicable to a particular community. Is what we mean by customary law. Now the structure and the jurisdiction of the courts. Article 126 of the 1992 Constitution gives the structure of the court in Ghana. The first court is the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is the highest court in Ghana. The Supreme Court is the highest court in Ghana. The Supreme Court, when it's said to make decision, they set at least 5. However, in the case of review, 7 justices of the Supreme Court were set. The Supreme Court has original jurisdiction, that is the jurisdiction to sit on a case at the first instance. They also have supervisory jurisdiction, they have general jurisdiction, they have supervisory jurisdiction over all courts below it, and it also have appellate jurisdiction. That's when a case that started below the Supreme Court may be appealed to the Supreme Court. So if the case started below the Supreme Court, that case can be appealed up to the Supreme Court, subject to few exceptions. For instance, when you want to challenge parliamentary election petition, or when you want to challenge parliamentary election, you can only appeal up to Court of Appeal. Then you also have the Court of Appeal, that is the second highest court. The Court of Appeal hears appeals from the courts below. So for them, their jurisdiction is to hear appeals. Appeals simply mean that the case has already been heard and they are rehearing the case. Appeals by way of rehearing. Now you have the High Court. High Court is the third court. It has jurisdiction in all matters, both criminal and civil. The High Court has a jurisdiction to enforce fundamental human rights. You should also understand that the Supreme Court has the original jurisdiction of enforcement and interpretation of the Constitution. I've made that point clear. The Supreme Court is the court that has the jurisdiction to interpret or enforce the Constitution. When you come to the High Court has several divisions. Remember, I said the High Court has jurisdiction in all matters. Has jurisdiction in all matters. We have criminal, civil. Now, the High Court is divided into different parts. We have the fast track division, commercial division, land division, labor division, human rights division, financial crime division, the general jurisdiction division. The names tells you the kind of case that particular division handles. So land division, it tells you that it handles land matters. You also have the circuit court. The circuit court has jurisdiction in civil and criminal matters. Now, when it comes to civil matters, If the amount does not exceed 2 million Ghana cedis, then you can bring that action at the circuit court. If you pick district court, in terms of civil matters, if the amount does not exceed 500,000 cedis, you can start the action at the district court. So you see, you cannot start a case which the amount involved is 2 million at the district court because of the jurisdictional issues. Let's now look at Order 58 of CI 47. Order 58 of CI 47 define commercial claims as follows. So we want to look at commercial claims. Commercial claims relate to formation, governance, and business or commercial organization. In fact, Order 58 of CI 47 gives a tall list of what you mean by commercial claims. So let's go through them one by one. The winding up or bankruptcy of a commercial or business or commercial organization or corporate business. Also, the restructuring or payment of commercial debt by or to business or commercial organization or person. A business document or contract. Export or import of goods. We also have carriage of goods by air, sea, land or pipeline. You have exploration of oil and gas reserves, insurance and reinsurance. Reinsurance when someone has insured his or her item and the insurance company has also reinsured with another company. Banking and financial services. Business agency. Disputes involving commercial arbitration and other settlement of award. Award is the judgment given by arbitrator at arbitration. We also have intellectual property, including patent rights, trademark, copyright, issues on tax, commercial fraud, application of the company law. Now this company's code is no more in operation. It has been repealed. The current one is the Companies Act 2019 at 992 and other claims of commercial nature. All these constitute commercial claim under Order 58 of CI 47. Session summary. In a nutshell, we can just say that, or by way of summary, we can justifiably say that you now understand the legal system practice in Ghana as well as the hierarchy of our courts. We have discussed the nature of commercial claim and the jurisdiction of the various courts in Ghana. Thank you and have a nice day.